I should turn my mic on. What's up, guys? What is happening? Buddy Boy, Lone Wolf. What's up, guys? Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Buddy Boy. Jeez, so many screens, so many controls. Puffy Panda, what's happening? Savannah, good morning. Jewy, you weren't first. Sorry. What's going on, guys? We're going to talk about a hot subject this morning, and you may not like my take on it. Just going to say, maybe it's not that you won't like it. I think we're going to stir up some controversy and a little bit of education, maybe. I don't know. We're going to see. Who was first? You were. Our buddy boy. What's up, dude OG? The dude OG. What's going on, guys? Let me grab a bottle of water. I forgot to grab a bottle of water. All right. I got a bottle of water. We're going to be talking DMCA, guys. What's up, Vishal? What's up, Decent Gamer? What's up, Jish? Guys, I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to like the subject matter. Listen, you've been hearing a lot of buzz, right? Everyone's been hearing a lot of buzz about DMCA. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you some insight in a couple of different things. And I've had this discussion a lot. Am I going to play Cold War campaign on stream? Probably not. I'm going to wait and see what everyone says about it. I'm still not hearing great reports about it. DMCA. We're going to talk about what that is, Puffy. We're going to talk about what that is. So let's get into this. Let's just get into it. We got a lot to talk about on this. What's up, Pancake? Do I play esports? Quick Scope Gamers. Do I play esports? I own Delta V Esports. I stream 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. I compete in tournaments. I think I do. I think I do. Do I like Minecraft? I love Minecraft. I did a 138-hour stream on Minecraft. I do like Minecraft, and I'm spilling water all over myself. So that's a yes. I do esports and all things. The more important thing is we're helping you guys develop career opportunities in esports. That's what this is really about. Street Talk Leader Nation is the movement to move to take esports and gaming to the center stage of world attention and admiration. Delta V Esports is the organization that will help teach you the skills to get there. All right, let's get right into this. DMCA. That is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's a federal law. It's been around for quite a while. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And what's all the stuff that's been talked about, a lot of stuff that's been talked about, guys, was, well, I got crumbs all over my mouse pad, is how many Twitch streamers are getting DMCA violations and takedown notices for their content. And you're having streamers that have thousands of hours of clips and videos that they've had to take down. Now, I'm not going to get into, let me just do the first disclaimer here, guys. I'm not an attorney. I'm not legal counsel. I'm giving you strictly my opinion on this. And don't take this in any way as what you should or should not do. And it's not that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not talking with attorneys about this. We're going to talk about a perspective on it that's different than what's really being talked about. I can tell you there are amazing resources by people like Devin Nash. There's several videos. He's been talking about this for a long time. He talks about it at another level. I'm going to talk about it at a foundational perspective, and it's going to stir up a little bit of frustration. I'm not probably playing Cold War. No, people are asking. Not yet. Not yet. I don't play a lot of multiplayer and COD anymore anyway. I play a lot of Warzone primarily. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is and if you're a streamer at all, hey, thank you, Grumpy. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you're a streamer, a content creator on YouTube, whatever it is, if you're on Twitch, I got one of these. I got this email, a blog post from Twitch talking about what the DMCA is, what's going on. And you should read all of that. You should have an understanding. You can watch, like I said, Devin Nash's YouTube videos talking in depth about this. Harris Heller at Alpha Gaming just did something. And they're talking about issues that are, we're going to touch on them, but they're talking about issues that are important to understand. But there's a bottom line reality here that is changing. I have this discussion regularly. I've had it with my kids over the years, and that's what we're going to start with today. You need to get it so you can get all the Warzone content. I picked it up last night and preloaded it. Oh man, it's $60. There's new Warzone content. When Riven gets here, he has it. We'll take a look at it and see. I'll decide. I know there's supposed to be a new Warzone map. All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, let's get into this DMCA stuff, okay? Copyright. So the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. You have to understand what copyright is fundamentally. I'm not getting into all the legalities of it, but here's the bottom line. What's up, Medic? I had fun on your stream last night. And I appreciate the shout out. Medic is getting involved in our community. We love it. We're glad he's here. Looks to be a great guy. Great guy. Check out his stream. Okay. Copyright, guys. Let me tell you something. This is a generational issue it's a generational problem that's created this DMCA stuff and the Twitch response and all the things that are going on. It's a generational thing, but it's been around forever. Do you guys understand that? Let's just talk about what it really is, okay? And let's get into some detail on this. When you create something, let's say you create a physical product and you create a better mouse, okay? you can patent that mouse and the way that it was built or the process of how you created the texture, whatever. There's a whole thing inside. There's a whole process for patenting something. Why do you do that? I got to get a new boom arm. Why do you do that? You do that because you want to protect the time, idea, investment, money, all of it that you put into creating this. That is your intellectual property. You created it. You put the time and money in to develop it. You want to be able to sell it in the marketplace so that you can have a profitable business on the idea that you created. That's what a patent does. It protects that. So if someone steals it and builds it and sells it cheaper, you have a legal recourse to go and say, hey, you stole my idea and built the same exact thing or something close enough that it infringes on that. You're taking money out of my pocket. Okay? Fair enough? That's what a patent is. What is a copyright? If someone writes a book, let's just say this. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. Okay? Now, we buy Harry Potter books. We buy their digital versions, their hard copies. We watch the movies and all of that. If J.K. Rowling wrote the entire story and sent it to a publisher and there was no copyright protection and the publisher stole it and ran with the book and turned that publisher into a billionaire instead of her into a billionaire, what recourse does she have? What legal ability does she have to say, you stole my story and my idea? Well, that's what copyright does. It's legislation, it's laws in place that protects the creative intellectual property that you develop, that you come up with, and you want to sell in the marketplace so that you can be a profitable person. Okay? Are you with me so far? Okay. Isaiah Sanchez, thank you for the follow. Glad you're here. Okay. We're going to get into a lot of questions, but I just want to lay some foundations here. Okay? So when you create something, now this is the legalities, guys, and I'm not an attorney. I just want you to understand that we're talking about the fundamental principle. You should have some way to protect your intellectual property that you created from someone stealing it and profiting by it without your permission. You understand what I'm saying here? If someone doesn't have your permission to do something with that material, book, in this case, we're talking about J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. If they don't have your permission, then that's stealing. Because if you don't have my if I write a book and you don't have my permission to use it in some way that generates money for you, and I get nothing out of it, that's stealing. Now, if I tell you, yes, you can use, like she did to the movie industry, you can use my books, my story, and turn it into a script and a movie, and I get royalties from that. I'm licensing my idea to you, and you get to benefit from it, and I get to benefit from it. It's a mutual agreement. But if you just try to steal the idea and make a movie, or to try to take the idea and make a movie without my license and without my permission, that's stealing. And so J.K. Rowling has to have some kind of, or I have to have some kind of recourse to come in and get that back. Or if you make $10 million, I got some right to collect money from that. You don't have the right. I didn't give you permission to use it. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm not sure what we're talking about here. The mighty. Okay, listen. Okay. So copyright protects, is designed to protect anyone that creates something like a book, like a video. And here's the hard one. Okay, and this is going to stir up a lot of controversy, especially if you're under the age of 30. Music. Now, I've been around in the days when I when I was a kid growing up, I had LPs, I had records, right? I had long play, that's what LP is. I had the big ones, right? I had 45s, which were the smaller ones that my parents gave me from when they were kids in the 50s. And I grew up with records, okay? And so if you wanted to listen to music, you either listened to it on the radio or you bought a record. That's the way that it was. And then it evolved into tapes and then eventually CDs. And then you had things like So you would pay for music to be able to listen to it unless you wanted to listen to it on the radio. And the cost of listening to it on the radio was that you listen to advertising along with it. So understand that the producers of music that goes on the radio, they're licensing that music to be on the radio, and there's a benefit because it markets. There's a benefit for them having it there, okay? Now, iTunes is another example of where you can go. That was the next evolution. So it went to CDs, and then Steve Jobs came out and created iTunes and this idea that you could buy individual songs. Napster came out. Obviously, that was a massive turning point. And that's what I want to talk about, and that's what's led to a lot of mentality today, if you're under the age of 30, that has to be corrected and is being corrected in two ways, okay? So, 8 tracks. I did have 8 tracks too, man. I had 8 tracks. But that was kind of tape, right? So, yeah, it went from records to 8 tracks to cassettes, which was an 8-track in a smaller version with more data on it, and then to eventually CDs, and then to digital music like the Zune and the iPod and different things. Okay. But let's talk about something here. This is a fundamental question that is at the core of this DMCA problem right now. Part of it is ignorance. Part of it is being very aware of what you're doing. When Napster created the ability to rip songs and then create a digital library for them, and a lot of you may be too young to know what Napster was, but essentially you could rip songs from a CD or a cassette, whatever it was, put them into a digital library and share them with the world, share them with everyone. Do you understand that if we understand the foundational problem here is that Napster never had licensing? Just because you could do it in the digital age doesn't mean you have the right to do it, okay? But it created this entire generation of kids that were now able to get thousands and thousands of songs for free, seemingly with no consequence. And so while many of them didn't suffer, now Napster ended up losing in federal court. It was this whole long thing, right? Okay. But it created the perception that if you could get it digitally somewhere for free, that was okay. If Napster could do it and you could, it was okay. Here's the foundational thing. It's never been okay. It hasn't ever been okay. If you make it even more fundamental, if you say it this way, if you wanted to come into my house and sit down and enjoy my television and watch a movie, and I didn't give you permission to do that, is that okay? I mean, obviously the answer is no. Dubs, thank you for the follow. Now, if I tell you, hey, I'm going to be on vacation, here are my keys, come on in and you can use it. Or better yet, right? Here's a more, if we say Airbnb. If you want to come in and use my house for a few days and shower and eat and cook and sleep and do all of that, but you don't have my permission, well, that's breaking and entering, right? That's illegal. I have protections against that. If I put it up on Airbnb and because I want to make money from my house and I'm gone and I give you the right through a contractual agreement to come in and use my house, then you have the right to do it under those guidelines. Music is the same exact way. Content, photos, any of that. If someone creates a song and they say, I'm going to sell this song, it's my business, it's how I make money, and I don't license anyone to take it for free without my permission, but you do, that's stealing. That's the problem with the DMCA violations, that because you have content creators for years that in producing, think of how many streamers, now it's becoming, we're becoming very aware. How many streamers, how many YouTube content creators use background music from popular songs in video, and they're making a lot of money from developing that content. They're not paying anything to the people that wrote the music. That's part of the appeal of that piece of content they created. That's the problem. But culturally, a lot of people under the age of 30, especially, have grown up in the environment, well, all my friends do it, it's okay. My own kids, several of my own kids, yeah, we share music. I don't see a problem with it. How can you fundamentally, philosophically not see a problem with it? And then I'll get arguments like, well, but they make their money from T-shirts and concerts. And all. That's not even an argument. That's not even an argument. The issue is they created something, it's protected by copyright law, and you didn't have a license to use it. Now, I'm not accusing everyone of outright stealing. What I'm saying is a cultural phenomenon began to change with things like Napster, where it seemed like it was okay. It seemed like it was all right. Everyone was doing it. Okay? We're going to talk about Spotify and other things. It seemed like it was okay, but I'll tell you, so I used to have a litigation support company, and I spent a lot of time in the digital process. We created the digital process in the courtroom in trials. I spent a lot of time in federal courtrooms in trials. And let me tell you something that's very clear. Ignorance is no exemption from the law. It's not. Ignorance is no exemption from the law, guys. Because you didn't know doesn't exclude you from the fact that you're guilty of that act. Now, let's get into some of the details of kind of what that's turned into. So knowingly or ignorantly, content creators have been using copyrighted music or photos or whatever without license and creating content. That's illegal by the current laws. We're going to talk about whether the laws should change or what's going to happen and what's happening with people that are creating content now for us to use. But right now, understand that you have content creators that have thousands of hours. If this wasn't real, if it wasn't illegal, whether you knew it or not, if it wasn't a threat by lawsuit litigation, whether you knew it or not, the reality is that it is, and they're taking their stuff down. They're taking their content and deleting it. Now, Devin Nash did a great video about all of this, and the fact that it doesn't really leave the servers. There's a lot of consequences that are associated with this. And again, I'm not saying everyone did it knowingly and blatantly. Lots of people did, and lots of people are still continuing to. And now the piper needs to be paid. The reaper's coming and saying. And so I'm going to get into a couple other things as well. I'm going to tell you how integral this is. A lot of you before your time, you remember. I'm going to talk about where to get licensable music and what's happening in the music industry. I'm going to talk about all that, guys. I just want to lay these foundations so that you understand clearly, fundamentally, what's happening. Because you think it's okay to get music from someone, let's say that, whatever, Linkin Park, you take a song, you put it in a video. Unless it's licensed to be there, like I do on TikTok or other things, you don't have the right to put it and use it. And eventually, so listen, all of us have seen when we've started a DVD or something, in the beginning before it says the big FBI warning, right? Copying this or sharing it or whatever is a federal offense. It is, whether you agree with it or not, it's a federal offense. Even back in the days, guys, where when you would get on an elevator and there was a company called Muzak, M-U-Z or M-U-Z-A-K, I think it was, you would pay for the right to have music playing in your store or in your elevator because you want to keep your people entertained and make them feel comfortable, want them to stay longer in your store. If you played the radio and someone came in and you were a department store making money off of helping entertain your customers by playing music, you could be held liable for this copyright issue in the same way. It's just in the content creation thing, and now it's gone to a whole nother level. And again, because culturally there's this misunderstanding that somehow it's okay because the music's out there and I can get it. It goes the same for photos. It goes the same for videos. If you don't expressly have the right, and again, we're going to talk about where to get that. If you don't expressly have the right to use it, you're breaking the law. So what's happening now is very sophisticated efforts are being put into place to catch you. So what does that mean? Let me give you an example. Many years ago, in a bunch of attorneys, the legal industry needs to make money. They make money by finding things that are wrong in big profitable industries. Years and years ago, it was the tobacco industry, and they got a lawsuit that was the first, whatever it was, $1 billion settlement, a class action lawsuit, against the tobacco industry, and all these changes happened. Well, when that was all done, they start looking as a culture, as a business for other big, deep pocket places to go. And they're very good at it. And so copyright and content creation, as fast as all the things that we're doing is exploding, is an easy target. And now everyone that's just thought we're okay, we're not going to be caught from ignorance or from doing it knowingly, are now being caught and held to account. That's what's happening. Twitch is deep pockets, right? So when the DMCA comes and says you have a violation, Twitch comes out and says, and there are several things. Again, I would refer you to Devin Nash's stuff. He's got videos about this, talking about the different levels and how Twitch is trying to protect themselves and whatnot. Twitch, ultimately, the law is structured in such a way that you as the individual, I as the individual, have ultimate responsibility. So we can blame it on Twitch when you didn't let us know and your filters didn't tell us or whatever. It doesn't matter in a court. And it doesn't matter to the DMCA violation takedown notice. What matters is ultimately you have the responsibility, okay? And so that being the case, the efforts to find you and what you're doing. Now, most of us are small streamers and we don't have a ton of stuff out there, okay? So it's not that big of an issue, but it's still an issue. It's so sophisticated now that they'll even set up traps. I mean, we're talking about things like I own a photography agency. I go take photos. I put them out all over the internet. I tag those photos with digital tags that I can follow. And then I have a company, a copyright company that goes and finds if you use it without license. And I tell you, hey, you owe me this amount of money. And if you don't pay me, I have a law firm that's associated with this to go and threaten lawsuit on you to get the money. It's a process because they know people are blatantly abusing this. And they're blatantly going to take advantage of that, whether, again, it's ignorance or if it's just, you knowingly do it. It doesn't matter. The law is what the law is right now. Okay. That's why people are terrified right now. Thousands of hours, and it's like, well, all this content, I work so hard. Okay, you built a brand and a multi-million-dollar business for a lot of these content creators off of the backs partly of other content creators, and they got nothing out of it. That's why they're being gone after. That's the bottom line. So whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, it is the fact. Okay, now let's talk about the next evolution of this, and then we'll get into some questions. The next evolution of this is an understanding that in today's digital world, the ways that music and things were produced and what you can do with it is changing very quickly, okay? No one has ever been, except for maybe the last 10 years, 15 years, creating the volume of content being put out on YouTube and now TikTok and Twitch and all of that that's ever before. No one's ever put out this amount of content. So the industry's catching up with how do we deal with that amount of content and prevent people from getting in legal trouble. So again, it comes back to licensing. Now, there are two things happening. There are artists that are producing a lot of their own music or a lot of photos or whatever it is, and they make them royalty free and they make them available for you to use. Now, sometimes when I say royalty free, it means you don't have to pay them anything, or they're not expecting any any money back from the efforts that you make successfully to build off of that content. Oftentimes what they'll do, again, you look into the details, don't take my word on any specifics, but they'll say, please tag the name of the song, please reference me as the artist, whatever it is. But you have the right to use it under those guidelines. Then you have services that you can pay for. Like I use Epidemic Sound. It's like $15 a month. There are many free ones. People like Harris Heller with Stream Beats on Spotify, whatnot, have royalty-free soundtracks available that you can use with a license that tells you can. Now, be careful that just because, this is where it gets tricky, just because you pay for a music service like Spotify Premium or Amazon Prime Premium or whatever, and you're listening to your favorite band, just because you pay for it, please be clear on this, just because you pay for it is no indication or release from the copyright responsibility unless that service or artist explicitly says it. And if you look at, let me see if I can bring it up here really quick. Epidemic Sound, let me see if I can find their license information, just to give you an example. Yeah, you can get individual. So all their licenses, like for example, their license says, let me switch to this really quick, just so that you can see and we can get an example. So if you look at Epidemic Sound, right? So there are licenses if you just want to, have a single track license. You have a generic license when you pay for the service monthly, and there are different levels of that. But here's what you get out of it, right? Indie games, and so online videos without ad spend. So all these are all the places where you have the right to use the music. Social media boosting, editorial and corporate productions. This is a license. Okay, this is a license. And so when you pay for a service like this is what I'm talking about, in the sense that that's how you're protected. But again, don't confuse a paid for premium service with a license, a royalty-free license. Royalties means paying the artist money back for using their stuff. Don't confuse ones you pay for with a license. There are services like this. Albaz is mentioning Harris Heller created, and this is a streamer, is something he created, because there are over 30 ways to make revenue streams from as a streamer. He went out and paid a musician, an artist, a composer, whatever it was, to create hundreds of songs for him. He paid that artist out of his pocket, however much money it was, okay? He paid that artist to create songs that he now has available on Spotify and Apple Music and SoundCloud and whatnot, royalty-free. And he had to go through a process with Spotify and all of these to show that he actually owned it. He created it. He had the license from the artist. It's a long process. And now it's in place, and you can use Stream Beats on for free. You can use it for free. You have to watch for that. You have to look for that. I can tell you how many streams I go on to, and people are still playing whatever popular music from Spotify without and they're playing, and they're going to get stuck, guys. It's not, if you don't believe it, you can't run from this. And the risk is, the bigger you get, lawsuits come into play. So Tim the Tap Man's not the only one. Nick Merckx finally had to succumb. Everyone that did this. Nick Merckx was one of the last ones to kind of spit in the face of it all. I don't know who you're talking about. It's not really going to be an issue. It's fine. It's not fine. It's federal law. Now, so the two things that are happening to overcome this are, one, artists and resources that are licensing you to use it. Now, if I'm a new artist, or if I'm an artist and I want you to, I want to get exposure for my stuff, and you like my stuff, man, by all means, if you'll just reference me as the artist, in a little clip or whatever, we'll talk about TikTok as an example here in a second, then use it away, because that just helps me bring awareness. That's marketing to my music and what I do. Now, yes, this is exactly what we're talking about. I mean, these people are getting rid of it because they used unlicensed, copyrighted music, guys. That's why they're deleting all this stuff. They know what they did, or at least they recognize now what the problem is. Again, I'm not accusing anyone of knowingly doing it, although I think but ignorance is no exception to the law, okay? All right, so other things that are happening. So people talk about, like, well, let's see, I see people using TikTok and using, like I did today, I did a Linkin Park, a 15-second Linkin Park clip in my TikTok today. Okay, so how is that different? The label for Linkin Park is licensing small segments for the really popular bands. So for 15 seconds, I get to use a clip of that music. If you look at the bottom of the TikTok screen, it says, you'll see that little spinning disc, and then it'll tell you who the artist is scrolling across and what the name of the song is. So they're licensing me to play 15 seconds of it, and then be able to get more exposure. Ooh, I like that song. Who is that song? I'm going to go buy that whole song from Linkin Park. That's kind of what the concept is. Let me give you another example of this, guys. When you look at, I like to watch really creative people doing all kinds of creative things all over in their content creation. I like to watch a lot of these reaction videos to songs, right? If you'll notice, the people doing reaction videos on YouTube to, whatever it is, whatever song is, Sound of Silence, The Disturbed, whatever, pick one. You'll notice something very interesting. And the very interesting part of this is that they won't play the whole song uninterrupted. Why? Because there's copyright standards in place to protect YouTube against the DMCA and other violations, copyright violations that they could be held liable for. Understanding, please, that it's still always on. The law is very clear that the ultimate responsibility and liability is on you and I as individuals. But they break it up. So here's the bottom line. If I play the whole thing and people watch that and YouTube sees that I get a lot of, my view time on my video I put out is longer, that's beneficial. Algorithm likes that. People will stay and watch longer. More people will watch it. So they have to break it up. And that's why these reaction videos are broken up into short slices with commentary in between. So a 3-minute song can turn into a 7-minute video. That's protecting them against copyright. Okay, and that's the process. It's why they do that. Yeah, I mean, guys, there are plenty of resources to get licensed and royalty-free music. You just have to start shifting to using them. So the people that are terrified running around right now, Tim the Tap Man, all these people deleting content is because it's not a joke. You know how much money and time a lot of these creators have spent putting that material out? You're talking, it's all gone. Now, it's not technically gone. And that's a whole other thing. You should go watch Devin Nash's stuff. Harris Heller talked about, go watch their stuff about the details. I'm talking about conceptually what you have to be aware of and why this is so critical, okay? A lot of people, now, what's going to change? Are the laws going to change? To some degree, but it's going to take a long time. And it's irrelevant whether you think it's right or wrong that a copyright law exists, because I've had that argument with people, not argument, kind of debate with people. Well, I'm not hurting anyone. It's just me. That's baloney. Grow up, man. Because like I said, if I went in, if I said, hey, I like your car, I'm just going to go drive your car around for a while, and I'm going to Uber in your car and make money from it, I don't have the right to do that. And that's exactly the same thing. And if you don't think it is, then you're going to be in DMCA trouble as well. That's just facts, guys. You don't have the right. We don't have the right, unless authorized by the person that created whatever content we want to use as part of what we're doing, to use it until they tell us we can. That's the bottom line. And the people that did now are being held accountable. And federal law is very clear. Now, people can blame and talk about, well, Twitch should have warned us. They should have had better things. They should have done all of this. There is a thing called safe harbor. Safe harbor is what is really the kind of where Twitch resides. And the people that say, hey, listen, we're putting in reasonable measures to let our content creators using our platform know that they really can't break these laws and do these things. It still does not, safe harbor does not remove the liability from you or I. So to complain about what Twitch has done or has not done is irrelevant. You did it. You're ultimately responsible. Well, I didn't know. I've always downloaded music and I don't see anything wrong with it. Well, now you do. Now you do. Now you see what's wrong with it. You're seeing firsthand what's wrong with it. So there's no more arguing whether or not copyright, should or should not exist, or I should have the right or not have the right. You don't have the right. People used it and now they're getting held accountable. They're getting caught. And it's going to cost some people a lot of time and a lot of money. Sorry. It's just the way it is. It's just what it is. Now it's going to change. It's going to evolve. And again, more and more resources are coming up with what's going on. Does that make sense, guys? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not saying the law is right or wrong. I'm saying what the law is, what DMCA is, what they do, what it means, and what's going to happen going forward. What's going to happen going forward is there's going to be more opportunity to have royalty. Like this one I'm playing right here. I can make a clip of this as I'll put this on YouTube for tomorrow, this show. I can do this. I can put it up with no fear that I'm going to be held to a DMCA violation, because if I did, I would say, here's the service. This song is on this service. Here's their royalty-free license that allows me to use it in this type of content, and I'm fine. Or Harris Heller Stream Beats or whatever. You have a legal recourse to say, no, I'm authorized to use this. If I just throw Linkin Park songs or whatever into my content, or even if on my stream I play a YouTube video or a song that someone sent me, hey, check out this, I don't have the license to do that. And now people are being held accountable. Let's get into a couple of comments in case I'm just missing anything here, guys, so that we can make sure we answer this. The industry's addressing it, guys. It just hasn't been addressed for too many years. The video I put out today is, you got to understand that the esports and gaming and content creation industry, by the way, speaking of songs, I hate this song. Okay. This is a startup industry, and there are so many things that have been done that need to change and are changing, so many things that will evolve. We've got to treat this in a very different way. A startup industry has a lot of problems and hiccups that are hard to anticipate early out of the gate, this being one of them. Not the fact that it give you license because it's a startup to use something you didn't have license to use, but I'm saying that there's going to be new laws, there are going to be new approaches, and it's happening every day. And so it's what's going to be is going to be very good for us. But right now, the people that have been, it just is what it is. And I'm telling you, these attorneys and these groups, these law firms, these people are aggressive and nasty and precise and articulate and very well thought out. When they come after you, they know they've got a case. So, that's the bottom line. All right, let's make sure I'm not really missing anything here, guys. Let's get into some questions and comments. What time is it? Okay, let me see what you guys are saying here. It's really hard for small streamers, too, because it's hard to find non-copyright music to play in the background. It is, but it's getting easier and easier. Stream Beats, Harris Heller stuff, there's a ton of free services. But be careful that even with free services, you're very clear. Read. I know we don't like to do that, but read and understand what the license is and what the limitations are. Because there's a ton of stuff you can use out there for private use. And people they fall into that trap, and then it'll tell you it can't be for commercial use. If you're really confused, find an attorney, really do some, to protect yourself. Because you may be small now, but if you continue working at this, you're going to be big. And the recourse down the road is going to come after you if you didn't do it the right way. It's what's happening right now to all these big content creators. They've done it for years, thought they could get away with it, whether they knew it or not, and now they're being held accountable. But there's more and more stuff coming out, guys, to make it much easier. Yep, Harris Heller, we talked about that. Yes, Tim the Tap Man took his stuff down. The guy made songs as where people can use his music. There's so many artists. This is what I'm saying, guys. There's so many artists that are making their content, photographs, music, whatever, available for free. If this is what you still have to understand, most of those licenses are based on you referencing, at least in some description or some little blurb at the end, hey, music provided by. So there are still stipulations because, look, here's the bottom line. We as content creators want to make money from the content we create. If someone's using my content to go make money elsewhere, they don't have the right to do that. And if I do give them the right, it's because I want money back as a part of what they're doing. Because they're using what I created to make money for themselves. Well, that's not right. Unless I give them license to do it. You understand? So turn it back on yourself and say, if I create videos and photos and music and people just take it and they make all kinds of money using it and I don't get anything from it, you've got to have protections against that. That's all that we're talking about. No joke. So made a YouTube, had a music playing in the background, and we got hit for it. Lucky it was told by the artist to either cut out the audio. That's right. So most of the time it's going to be, the DMCA requirement is take it down. It's a takedown warning or a takedown order. The bigger problem, and you can look at Devin Nash and other people that are talking about this, the bigger problem is not the takedown order. It's that even though you've removed it and maybe it's been gone for 6 months, it still resides on public servers. You can still go find it. You can find it on Twitch servers. These are issues that Twitch is having to deal with now, why there's a big problem. And the level of litigation that will potentially be levied against Twitch or YouTube is massive. Is massive. These are the big class action lawsuits where they get, thousands or millions of artists or people that say, yeah, YouTube used my stuff, and they go to court and they get a massive settlement, and the individual artist gets hardly anything, and the attorneys make 30%, and that's where the money really goes. Okay. Just editing some videos to post on TikTok later today, organizing my squad for team later tonight. Trying to get to 100 follows. Do it. Stream Beats is still his licensing process, so we can use it without any work. Yeah, because understand. So let me talk about Harris Heller's model. This is really important as well, guys. Harris Heller's model of what he's doing with Stream Beats is profitable for him in a different way. And when I say things are going to change in the industry, this is what's going to change. The traditional music industry has been spend a lot of money in the studio creating, whatever it is for a year, an album. The album goes out and we sell the album and then we go on concerts and hopefully make ticket sales and merch and whatever. Now it's very different. Now what's happening, because this whole industry, the gaming industry, I've talked about this on other shows and other videos and other TikTok, the gaming industry has turned that model upside down. And the industry is having a hard time adjusting to it. And here's how it's turned it upside down. You produce a product and put it out there, and if someone likes it, they're going to pay you for it after they've enjoyed it or whatever. Harris Heller spent money out of his own pocket, went to a musician, artist, composer, whatever it was, created hundreds of songs that you can use. You and I can use on our streams, royalty-free, risk-free, no DMCA risks. Okay, what's the benefit then to Harris Heller? He makes a penny per play, something like that, 1 or 2 cents per play. That's what these artists do. So when you go to Spotify. And so Spotify either makes money as a business from the ads that play on the non-premium version. So you listen to music, it's interrupted by ads. That's how they make their money as a business model. If you don't like the ads, you can pay for premium, have no ads, but you're paying monthly. So millions of people do that. That's a business. That's how they make their money. So they license, They license Harris Heller's music from him to increase their library and their audience that will use and come to Spotify or Apple Music or iTunes or whatever, or Amazon, Music. They license that to grow their audience, so potentially they can have more advertising because more listeners are there. Remember, we trade in the world of attention, so more attention is there. They have a bigger library of music. I want to use them. And then they pay the artist. So Harris Heller, every time we play a Stream Beats song, makes, let's call it a penny. So if he has 100 songs, and he has more than that, but let's say he has 100 songs, and every one of those songs gets played one time in a day, Spotify pays him $1. 1 penny per play for each of 100 songs. So why is it beneficial to Harris Heller? It's beneficial to Harris Heller because it's at scale. So 100 people listening to one song or one person listening to 100 songs in a day doesn't make him any money. 1 million people listening to 100 songs makes him a lot of money. That's why he does it, and that's how the industry is changing. Okay, so Fantasy Dude, let me make a point here. So this is kind of another thing. Let's talk a little bit. This plays into kind of this. This is more etiquette than anything, right? I'm not gonna. So the Fantasy Dude, I'm picking on you with love. Okay, so not picking on you. I just want to make a point here. So I have a number of viewers, watching right now, and in my chat, the Fantasy Dude is talking about what he's doing on TikTok. So he's in my chat in front of my audience where there's attention, talking about what he's doing, and then making a point, though not directly asking, I'm just grinding to 100 follower goal. Now, is that okay? It's really a question of, in terms of stream etiquette, self-promotion in stream etiquette is not acceptable. It's just it's an unspoken rule that we kind of put there, right? And when people, so it's like when you hear streamers that come in and say things like, guys, hey, give me a shout out, or they want to leverage for free the attention that some person has happening, in this case, me as a streamer, or Tim the Tap Man, or Mercs, or Ninja, or whatever. So this is one of those cases where you kind of have to say, so right now, Fantasy Dude comes in, mentions he's grinding, someone else in chat goes and gives him a follow. He just used my stream and my audience to achieve that. Is that okay? There's no law that says it's not. There's no that's not copyright. That's a case where it becomes more professional etiquette, right? And kind of understanding. Now, most of the time, a lot of time, and that's why I'm just making the point. A lot of times people don't understand, and that's all. And in this case, there's no harm, no foul. It's not like a big deal. But what you really can do is, yes, privately request. So we tell, for example, in our Discord server, Tang has set up a self-promotion area. So if you want to self-promote your stream, anything you're doing, that's the place to do it. That's the place to do it. And we're permitting you to do that. And we like you to do that. But when you come into someone's stream and you self-promote, and again, much love, Fantasy Dude. I'm not saying that yeah, and I know, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm making a point, and you happen to be the person that was right there. That's all. I didn't take it as like, dude, hey, Tang, ban this guy, time this guy. It wasn't, trust me, it wasn't that. These are very subtle things, right? It comes down to just a lot of respect, right? It comes down to a lot of respect. Lone Wolf, Fireman 75, a gifted sub. Thank you, my friend. If you take people, if you look at like Lone Wolf or Bulldog or people that I do give shouts out to at times, that's my right to give a shout out. It's my right to give a shout out. It's my audience. It's my work. It's my content. It's what I'm doing. And that's my right. And whether or not you agree or like, well, why don't you give me a shout out or whatever? When I go into other people's streams, and I go into a lot of them, I never mention that I'm a streamer. I just get in and try to promote the community and be positive. And half the time people will say, dude, you seem like someone who streams. I think I've seen your name before. I think I've seen you in this, whatever. I'm very reluctant, very hesitant. I just really want to help promote growth. And it's always nice when you're in stream to have people that will chat. When your chat's popping, it's really, when people come in and gift a sub or, talk. Gnome Plane, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Sneezy Pop Official, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Street Talk Leader Nation, because we're doing the right thing at the right time. And no wait. I haven't done that enough. You're in the right place at the right time because we're doing the right thing. I gotta get it right. Giggity Gamers, thank you for the follow as well. Oh my goodness, is this making sense to you guys? And please, Fantasy Dude, don't leave. Don't be offended. It's not. I just called you out because it was easy right there. I didn't think that you're gonna come into my stream or anyone's stream and self promote. You're good, brother. You're good. Okay, you're good. Okay. What questions do you have, guys, about this? Again, there are some really good resources of people like Devin Nash putting out videos about the details. But the one thing I'm not seeing, this is my second account. I'm messing around trying to follow a lot of, gotcha. Okay. Big Country Nash, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I'm not saying that enough. You're in the right place at the right time. And we're doing the right thing. I'd just like to point out that I remember the days of being 3 or 4 people. And some of the things, guys, you have to understand is that we're all going through these phases. A lot of times, so let's talk about, just for a second, the people that specifically steal content from people and use it in their own content, and they know that it's wrong. They know. They're just crossing their fingers or believing that they won't get caught. Why are they doing it? Why do we do that? Because that's a fundamental question. Why do we do that? Here's why we do it, IMO. We do it because we think it's a shortcut. We want to leverage. Let's go back to the principal thing I talk about all the time. In the digital age, the commodity that we exchange is attention, imagination, attention. The more attention you have access to of people's eyeballs and ears and whatever, people, when I say leverage that, they want to use that in their favor. If I'm using someone's music that is on top of the charts right now, then a lot of people that like that may hang around in a video I create or my stream because I'm playing music they like to listen to. It's a shortcut. I'm going to do some TikTok videos and maybe a series talking about, guys, you've got to create. Don't be afraid to create. It's the long game. It's the long game. And if you don't play the long game, you don't survive. If you play the short game, A, you're either going to get caught, or B, you're going to be boring because you're not doing anything that's unique. One of my biggest things I try to get across to people is, yes, you can leverage trends And I watch, and that's based on comments and feedback and what people are seeing, but don't do what that person's doing that got that attention. Do something that's unique to you, something that applies to what the trend is. And guess what? When you're doing that, two things happen. You build individual credibility on yourself, and then number two, you have no risk of copyright violation or DMCA or any liability anyone else because you created it. If that makes sense. So I could use music on Spotify as long as I have the song title. No. That's a great question. I want to make this point very clear. Not all music on Spotify, because you pay for it, is royalty free. You specifically have to find an artist or platform that provides royalty-free music. Harris Heller's music is royalty-free, and just so happens on the Stream Beats, it's called Stream Beats, just so happens to be on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music, but it comes with a royalty-free license. If Evanescence or Lady Gaga or anyone else is putting music on Spotify and you're listening to it, that's not royalty-free unless they've provided a royalty-free license, whether or not you say this music is from. Do you understand that? Again, I'm not an attorney, guys, and you can seek an attorney on this. There's tons of stuff that talks about it. What I am saying is that there are variations of the license. Some will let you use it for personal use. Some will say use it for commercial use. Other licensing will say, like with Epidemic Sound that I use, that you don't have to reference the artist or anything. You pay us $15 a month, and we allow you to use this music in whatever you want, commercial, private, whatever. That's their business model. So they're paying someone for that music, but I'm just paying them more for access to it. Okay, so please don't think that just because there is royalty-free music on Spotify that you can actually use it as long as you reference it. That's not the case. Unless the license, like Harris Heller's Stream Beats, and there are many others, is specifically allowing you to do that, and you just happen to have it on Spotify, if that makes sense. I think this is an extremely important talk. Chat, I hope we all, our packages, follow DMCA rules. I've heard from some growing streamers claim I'm too small for Twitch and DMCA for me. I'm continuing to play copyrighted music. It takes time to get busted. Listen, you're welcome. And let me make this is so important, guys. I understand, and this is fundamentally why I'm making this point. Okay, I'll do a handstand hold after. I got to change the point values on these things because you guys are crushing me. Understand that there's no cheating the system. Here's what people think. Well, I'm just using this stuff privately. No one's ever going to find me. Okay, fair enough. Maybe. Lots of people drink and drive and don't get caught. Doesn't make it less legal. It doesn't make it okay. Just because you don't get caught and that happens to be that one time you didn't hurt anyone, that's irrelevant. It doesn't change the law. It's not okay. It's illegal. You just didn't get caught. Here's the risk you run into. That's keeping in shape, yes, and you guys are. Here's the issue you have to pay attention to. If small or big, if you're really small and you get a DMCA takedown notice, are they really going to litigate you if you're a streamer that makes $20 a month? It's not really worth their time. It's just not. If you are Tim the Tap Man or Nick Merckx that makes millions, it might be worth their time. It might be worth their time. So where are you going to be? That's the bigger question. You can either build right now, understanding what's happening the right way, and take a little bit longer, right? Because it's really fun to get your YouTube channel subscribed and pop because you're playing poppin' music and man, I like this style and yeah, I mean, but you're good. But here are the consequences. This is what's happening. Okay. Do it right from the beginning, anticipating that you're going to be very big and successful. So right now, Twitch Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world. They own Twitch. And you don't think these attorneys are this is why they've got hit. So again, look at the legal process. You can look at Devin Nash's stuff talking about this recently, about what's going on, about the software they're using to find it, the fact that this stuff doesn't come off the public servers even though you delete it. This is a mess. This is a massive Massive mess. Okay? They're not going to litigate you, but you're going to lose your account and likely no recourse. Yeah, I mean, the chances of them, and Tang is right, of them actually litigating you is very low, unless you're even for Nick Merckx or Tim the Tatman or whoever. The chances of you being litigated, pretty low, okay? Doesn't make it okay. But can you get banned? What happens if Tim the Tatman gets banned from Twitch forever? That's how he makes his living. I get it, his YouTube channel's popping, but guess what? That's all gone. All of his YouTube content taken down. Gone. It better be gone. So what happens if you get banned? What happens if he gets banned? He's starting over somewhere. He's got to go. I mean, come on, guys. You understand the consequences? The litigation's going to happen at the level of Amazon and Twitch and YouTube. And that's why the safe harbor laws and the ultimate liability, there's a process through this whole thing. But the problem, the issue now is that it's a mess and people are being held accountable. It's a mess. Even people that have taken stuff down, it's been gone for 6 months. It's still on public servers. And the software that DMCA is using to find this stuff, it's very easy. You can go find stuff that people deleted because Twitch still has it on their public servers. And that's the issue that Twitch is facing. That's the issue that Amazon is facing. That's the issue that this is now turned into a massive problem, because what the DMCA is saying is that, and these law firms involved in are saying, hey guys, you knew the rules and you have a platform where people are breaking the rules and you let them get away with it. No, we didn't. We set this out. That's the legal battle that's going on. The risk for you and I, like Tang is saying, the risk for you and I is that we lose our position in Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, whatever it is. And you don't have the opportunity to go make money the way you have been making money. That's the problem to us as streamers. Tim just emails his partner manager and gets it back. How does random streamer get it back? They don't. I mean, look, Twitch understands that people like Tim the Tatman are financially valuable to that platform. It's why, Pokimane got signed, or not Pokimane. Was it Pokimane? Cypher PK just signed a big contract with Twitch, and he's going to be doing some other things and helping content creators, because that's always been his mantra anyway. Cypher PK has always been an instructional streamer, and I've always liked him for that. So Twitch doesn't want their streamers to go away. They're just facing massive problems now, massive litigation, massive threats, and they're going to push the blame on us, guys, ultimately, because they have safe harbor. That's a law. That's a part of the law, safe harbor, meaning that if they reasonably can show a court or a lawsuit that they explain to the people using their platform that they can't use copyright, it's called safe harbor. Again, Devin Nash explains it in a lot more detail. That's what they're trying to deal with. But yeah, a lot of people that are big have recourse because Twitch wants them there and they've got influence and whatnot. But for a lot of other people that are smaller, you get banned. Sorry, man. What are you going to do? You can plead your case. Well, I had 100 videos that used, Linkin Park and I didn't know. Sorry. Ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance doesn't get you out of it. I promise, in a court, and when it comes to law, it doesn't get you out of it. The consequences may be more lenient to some degree, but it doesn't get you out of it, guys. So you have people. So Twitch wants to have its revenue stream continue on. It's guys, it's a mess. No. Feisty's asking the question, since Amazon owns Twitch, you think Twitch would ever close like Mixer did? No. I think that there's some it's too valuable. They spent almost $1 billion buying it, and they're making billions from it. There's nothing in my mind that says that they're going to get they could sell it. But who's going to buy it? Because right now, if it's under DMCA litigation, no one wants to buy that. I mean, it's not, it's, you know what I'm saying? Let's make today like you. Wonderful. Continue to be yourself. Thank you, Arcadia. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Remember, too, that Amazon is a business that works at scale. They make a little bit of money at scale over the course of billions of people. And that's what business we're in right now. We're a business that works at scale, right? So we make small amounts of money from a large audience of people. Okay, so what other questions, guys? So again, fundamentally, I'm trying to talk about the fundamental issues of DMCA and how it's gotten to this point and what we can do to protect ourselves. If you're starting as a streamer right now, right? If you're new, like me, if you've been doing this less than a year, we're in an incredibly good position because we're now aware of becoming more aware. Again, philosophically, if you agree or disagree with copyright laws and the DMCA and all of is irrelevant. What's relevant is, well, how's it going to change and how does it affect us? The law does exist. It's federal. It just is what it is. How do we deal with it? Well, how we're dealing with it is an entrepreneurial marketplace, a free marketplace that says, okay, well, guess what? Using the Harris Heller case, here's my music. You have rights to use it any way that you want. That's not how I make my money. I make my money because I get a penny a play on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or Music or whatever. That's what's changing in our benefit. We just have to be aware, and hopefully these kinds of things are making people incredibly aware that there's consequences for behavior, even if you didn't know it was illegal. Okay? Anytime that you bought a DVD movie and you copied it and gave it to 5 of your friends, you broke federal law. You broke federal law. Whether or not you'll ever get caught, whether or not you be litigated is irrelevant. The point is that when it gets big enough, the laws are in place to protect the artists, and it's still the law. It's just now the laws don't need to change. The way the marketplace produces opportunities for us to use stuff changes. I'm sorry if you don't get to use a full Linkin Park song in your YouTube video or on your stream, but there are literally now millions of other songs that are available very inexpensively or free. You just have to now, knowing that there's consequences, there's no excuse. You have to just use the right stuff in the right way and be protected for when you are someone that has 50,000 people in your stream, or you are a YouTuber with 10 million subscribers watching your stuff. Just do it right from the beginning. This is a wake-up call for the future of all of us doing this. Disney sued a daycare for showing their movies. Yes, so fantasy. This is a whole nother. You guys don't understand. So, I owned a really large CrossFit gym for a number of years, and I would play music. I would pay for Spotify and play it, because the people wanted it. We actually tried to get paid music. We tried to do it. It's just really hard. But technically, I was in violation. If someone came in, DMCA or an attorney or someone reported me, I had a for-profit business playing music to entertain my clientele that helped me to be profitable without any financial compensation going to the person's music that I was using to entertain my audience. Okay? And so excuse me. So this what he's bringing up here is incredibly important, because I've had people do like big watch parties, right, with a movie. Like, let's get a bunch of our families together in the neighborhood and watch Frozen. That's a copyright violation. We're taking it to kind of other levels, but understand, unless you have an expressly written license to use that for personal, or whatever, unless you have a license, you could get in trouble. And so these law firms are really good at finding violations. And now in the digital world, all they have to do is produce content, put enough meta tags or other things in it that these crawler softwares go and find where's it being used, what's worth our time, and they will find you. They will. It's not hard. They just run these software programs 24/7. It's what the DMCA is doing right now. These software programs are aggressive, relentless. They don't sleep. They don't take breaks, and they will find it. Millions of businesses do it. But let me ask you this question. Is it okay? I'm not talking in your opinion or your value system. Is it okay? Is it okay to have a daycare watch a bunch of movies Disney movies, 30 kids in there watching. Is it okay legally? So this is another subject we can move into. Legally, no, you do not have recourse. It's why Tim the Tap Man, it's why Merckx, all these people are taking their stuff down. Legally, it is not okay. Now, we're going to address something Tang brought up about being, DMCA is very predatory. That is true. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Let me see so people think that there's someone thumbing through your videos in a back room looking for copyrighted content. That's not even close to accurate. Think about SoundHound, how it will pick the background audio in a mall, identified artificial intelligence sorting through millions of lightning speed. It happens a lot faster. Yes. Restaurants don't sing the actual version of the Happy Birthday song. Because of who owns the right to the song, they sing their own version. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, let's get into this. This is a good segue. I am with what's up, Inc. When Tang says legally no, it's not okay. It's not. Let's just establish that, guys. Using copyrighted music, photos, whatever, is not legally okay. And the DMCA is now leveraging that law. That is federal law. Okay? It's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's federal law. It's not okay to do. It's why now these content creators, like I'm saying, are taking their stuff down. Okay? All right. Now, that being said, is it predatory? 100%. 100%. It's borderline unethical. I worked in the legal industry on the side of it as producing, is turning, paper into digital, VHS tapes into digital. I worked in courtrooms in a business that I was partnered in that I was very involved in all of that. And let me just tell you something very clearly. Tang, I'll read this. Let me tell you something very clearly. Law firms are designed largely to be predatory. So if you're an attorney and you have a law firm, please don't. What I'm saying is that they're looking for ways. They're a business. Do you understand that law firms are businesses? Everything is a business. And they charge by the hour. And the bigger case, the bigger pockets, how does it work? Let's look at it this way. Okay, so I'm a law firm right now. And I specialize in copyright law. And I'm looking around saying, okay, what industry? And I have 100 attorneys on staff and 500 paralegals and all these bills. I'm looking for an industry that has a lot of money. Hey, you know what? This new content creation industry is, let's do a little bit of investigation here because Amazon's involved in this and Apple's involved in this and YouTube's involved in this. And there's a lot of money here, right? Let's just go take a look and see what's going on. Hey, guess what? Wow, a lot of people are using copyrighted music. Well, what's a lot? Continue to have meetings. Wow, a majority. Huh, okay. What's the next step? Let's take now in today's age, let's create software that goes and tracks digitally every server. So we're looking for this music for whatever points of data they create and they can find it. Now they're aggressively, predatorily going out, looking for violations, and they get aggressive. And then they can build a case. So now if there are millions of people violating this, they're not going to come after you, okay? Likely. They're going to do the whole process, take your stuff down. Here's what they are going to do, because who they're looking at, the DMCA, if I'm a law firm, what I'm looking at, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at Amazon. I can't get $1 billion settlement out of you. I can get $1 billion settlement out of Amazon. And so I'm going to compile as much evidence of the violation of this act as I can, and I'm going to come to you. As a consequence, Twitch, as an example, is going to come and say, guys, take your stuff down. Because they have safe harbor that they kind of have to reside in there, right? That's why they just did a long blog post of what's going on. They're the ones that are being, this is where the predators are focusing. And I'm not saying morally or ethically or legally it's right or wrong for these law firms to be this predatorial. I'm just telling you, like Tang is saying, it is. They are. because we're talking big money, and they know the law, and the law's been broken, and it's ugly, and this is going to have consequences. And you know what? I have been talking about this, Devin Nash. People have been talking about this for years. Okay. There are consequences to breaking the law. And when it gets enough attention, consequences come falling down. Again, I'll go back to the issue of drinking and driving. Is it illegal? Is it in any way, legally, morally, ethically, whatever, okay to drink and drive? And the answer is 100% no. Drinking and driving causes more death and carnage and damage than many other things in the world. But people do it, and most people don't get caught. But when you do get caught, you kill someone, you crash a car, you whatever, there are consequences. You did it unknowingly or knowingly is irrelevant. And so now that's what's happening. Are there predatory law firms? Are there predatory? Absolutely. Are they kind of, does it just kind of turn your, because what we want when we get caught is leniency. Well, I didn't really know, and be nice to me, and I'm going to fix it going forward. No, that's not an excuse. And they don't let you off the hook. You know how they let you off the hook? Here's how they let you off the hook. Pay me $1 billion and then change it going forward. That's how they let you off. They don't care about you. I wonder how much the IRAA could make if they just package their music into actually affordable packages, i.e. like how the royalty-free music. It's all coming. This is what I'm saying. This right now opens a marketplace opportunity for creative entrepreneurial people to say, hey, this is a problem. I have a solution, and here's how we all win from it. It's going to change. Maybe like $100, maybe whatever it is. Whatever it is. Harris Heller put free music out because he can make at a penny a play a lot of money. Whoa, where's my taco casa? Right here. So you see what I'm saying? It's going to change for the good for all of us. It just is. I'm excited for it. I'm sorry for the people that are in trouble. I'm sorry for all the issues that are going to go on, but it's a consequence. Just because you thought you could get away with it doesn't mean you eventually would or would always get away with it. I used to work at eBay, and we had verified rights ownership programs that allowed any copyright owner to request and I'd be removed. They didn't have a right to sell it, Rolex, Nike, etc. Amazon does this as well. I had to explain it all the time. You may own Nike's shirt, but you don't own the logo on it. Therefore, you can't resell it without their consent. Yep. This is what I'm saying. You don't own it. It's not your IP. It's not your creative product. Guys, it's just fact. We're getting so many people are getting so emotionally bent because they got their hand slapped. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Whether they knew they weren't supposed to take the cookie or not is irrelevant. What's positive is how we're going forward with it. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about. Capitalism is fine. Capitalism is going to solve the problem. That's what we do. That's what it does. That's why it's so exciting. Drink and drive, do drugs and drive. Big no, destroys more than just the self. A subject. That's a subject. Listen, don't even get me started. I'm just telling you guys that the fact that you think because you get away with it and you don't get caught doesn't make it okay in any case. People that buy bullet bikes and do 140 miles an hour down the freeway and get killed or hurt and damage someone else doesn't make it okay because you got away with it for a year. There's always consequences. In some way, shape, or form, the consequences always come due. Got to hop off, do some paperwork. All right, Wolf. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We'll be here. I'll be here till 6 o'clock tonight. We're going to start playing here in a little bit. $250 if 50 people buy into subscription. This is what I mean. The business models work. What's going to happen is that it's going to be a very competitive industry. It already exists. Do you think that Epidemic Sound can hold a $14.95 a month subscription model if there are 50 others that have more music and charge $9.95? That's what the free marketplace is. That's what it does. There's going to be incredibly valuable solutions to what we need to have out there so that we can go forward in building our content and creating our content safely. I'm excited. I'm sorry for the people that had to pull content down. I feel bad. I'm sorry for Twitch and Amazon. I'm sorry for all the things that are going on with the predators and these law firms and whatnot. But bottom line is, got caught. I mean, and they'll win in some form, settlement, whatever. They'll win, and anyway. Um, and a lot of people would buy into something like that since they get access to such wide. It already exists. It's already out there. There's plenty of free stuff. There's epidemics. There's plenty of resources, paid and free, for royalty-free content that you can use in creating your own content. Closing in on 200 hours. I love it. Does all of that make sense, guys? I'm not trying to talk legally. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice in any of this. I'm just trying to help you understand fundamentally what's happening, the reasons behind why it's come to this point, and how exciting it is for the amount of content stuff or things that we're going to be able to do, because the industry is changing massively, and it's going to change in a really, really good way. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I'm Linkin Park and I want to license my music royalty free, then yeah. And this is what I'm saying. Whatever model it evolves into, or models it evolves into in the next number of years, is only going to benefit us as content creators. It's only going to benefit us. I'm excited. So here's Riven, and he says, off topic, can I buy you and Riven dinner on Saturday on my way of appreciation? Riven's not here on Saturday. I would probably have to eat his dinner. You'll have to get in and DM Riven. I'm here on Saturday. I'll always take dinner, especially if it's street tacos. I appreciate that, Godfather. DM Riven, see what his schedule is. What about Tang? Yes, Tang too. We're going to be rewarding Tang in a lot of ways. Tang has such amazing stuff coming, as well as a lot of people. You too, Tang. There you go. You got it. What other questions, guys? Does that make sense? What other questions do you have on this subject? By the way, tomorrow, if you're not aware, we're going to be talking about female gamers, female streamers. We're going to be talking about all of that. So if you are a female gamer or streamer, we'd love for you to be here and have your feedback. If you're not, but you have an opinion on it, we'd love to have you here as well. When I started, I played a lot of Smash Into Pieces songs, but they've given me permission to do that since it's my friends allowed. But if you are, and that's great. That's the way it should be, as long as you have written permission and you can prove it. If they got mad at you and decided they didn't like what you were doing. I got a balance to start my kids homeschooling, but thanks for the talk today, man. Again, I'm sorry about the stuff. No, listen, Fantasy Dude, I called you out just to kind of make a point. Please, I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate your efforts, and we want to help you any way I can. Matter of fact, put stuff out there in self-promotion. Let people know in the Discord channel, we want to help any way we can. Please don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Fantasy, don't feel.
Stop feeling badly.
I love the fact that you're here. I want you to continue to be here. Don't feel badly. Have fun with your kids. There you go, Pancake. Be here tomorrow. We're going to have a fun discussion. 100% put a TikTok saying you'll be talking about female streamers and put up hashtags. I will. I'm going to do that tonight. Or the day of, I'll do it. That'll be my one tomorrow morning then. I'll do it early. All right, real quick, guys. Let me use the restroom. Let's get some more questions up so we can finish up the 2 hours. All right. I feel like I'm missing out by not using Discord to my advantage. I never used it before, so I feel out of the element with it, but there's so many opportunities. Absolutely. By the way, guys, to prove that I'm not mad at fantasy, go give him some follows on his TikTok. I'll give him an official shout out. Go give him some follows. I asked for the Discord just as the timer was ready. Hopefully this isn't repeated, but I see some say, I don't own rights to the music while they have Avenger Tenfold playing in the background. That doesn't make it okay to play a copy. No, it doesn't. It does. It's a great question, Savannah. It does not. It does not make it okay. Disclaiming that you don't have the right to play it, or that it, or even proclaiming that this is who it is and this is the go, it doesn't. You do not, in a court of law, have a license. Like you have a license to drive a car, that's an authorization from the state you live in or the country you live in to drive a car. If you don't have it and you drive, you break the law. It's there for a purpose. Whether or not you agree or disagree with the purpose is irrelevant. If you disagree with the law, go work to change it. It doesn't change the law. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't have a license, even if you said, yeah, but I'm a good driver. I'm a great driver. I've been to 3 driving schools. I race cars. Okay, but you don't have a driver's license to drive on a public road. It doesn't matter. You just don't. So saying whatever, if you don't have a license in some form that you can refer back to as to why it's okay for you to use that in your content creation in a commercial, profitable way, even privately, but what we're talking about, commercial and profitable way, you don't have the right. Sorry, you don't. It's a great point. What's up, Turkey Berkey? Can I put my GoFundMe link in here? I'm trying to raise money for a dream bike. No, you cannot. I hope that's a joke because Tang is watching very closely. No, you cannot. That would be self-promotion in the stream chat. I'm going to laugh at it because I hope it's a joke. So let's finish up here. I got to stop rubbing my eyes, guys. Really bad habit. So anyway, but I do it. Nope, not a joke. No, you cannot. You cannot. I'm sorry. Not here. Apologize. Lots of other ways to do that. So be excited as someone, like all of us that are fairly new, and even if you've been around for a while, be excited for the changes that are going to come in response to these challenges. There are going to be some amazing things that are going to happen. It's constantly an evolution of it's like the TikTok I put out. This esports and gaming is largely a profit, based kind of a situation like this is always an evolution in this startup, and it's constantly developing so that's beneficial. It's gonna develop in ways that are beneficial to us. Now, along the ways, there's always going to be regulation. Even Mark Zuckerberg is asking for some kind of regulation, federal regulation, which reduces and limits the liability to a degree of risk that they have as a for-profit business. Guys, if you're not in Discord, make sure you are signed up in Discord. We have more and more things coming. I'm looking over, speaking of that, and Tang's probably yelling at me in Discord. Your Twitter description smaller, your TikTok. Yes, that's all. Yes, good point. I can do that. Let me answer this message really quick. Okay. Back at it. Be very excited, guys. Be very excited about all this DMCA stuff that's going on. I feel badly for content creators that are getting hammered for this and losing a lot of content. But then on the other side of it, I don't feel badly because to a certain degree, I don't think there's as much ignorance as people might claim. I think you pretty much knew. I can understand, and I do understand that things like Napster for anyone under the age of 30, or so, kind of created a culture that it was okay to rip music, and copy it and share it, to rip videos, copy them and share them. I understand how it created the culture, didn't make it okay, and I think most people knew that somehow intuitively it wasn't okay. What's your best advice for someone who tried streaming, gave up, and is now starting completely from scratch? Do it. Get back at it and don't stop again. Stay very plugged in here. Listen to the Street Talk shows. Go back, watch the videos, plug into my TikToks, plug into all the stuff that we're doing here, plug into the Discord, plug into the community. Go and watch streamers that you admire and start, the bottom line is it's twofold. Get back to doing it. I think you messaged me on TikTok as well. I'm not sure if I think I responded. I might not have yet. I do respond to almost everything. Number one, get back to doing it. Number two, do as much work outside. This is a little off topic, but do as much work outside, like TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Do as much work outside to bring people into your stream. That's the biggest problem most people find, because Twitch, even YouTube gaming, Facebook, they're not friendly. Twitch especially, they're not designed to help you grow as a small streamer. So you've got to use other things. That's how I've been growing. I feel bad that Twitch issues creators to delete material. They delete all material only for it to be found in public server they have no control over. That's the problem. That's the ongoing problem, I should say. But that ongoing problem, in my opinion, is not going to be back on Tim the Tapman or Mercs or whatever directly. It may be, like Tang talked about earlier. It's gonna. Some people have already been banned, and some people have been perma-banned. This is, maybe to some degree. I have no idea. Maybe that's the ultimate perma-ban for Dr. Disrespect. I don't know. I mean, maybe Twitch saw this coming. Amazon saw this coming. But this is the bigger issue. And this, I think the latest video that Devin Nash put out addresses that specifically. Just because you take it down, it's still on public servers accessible. You can go look stuff up, even stuff that was deleted. This is why people need to understand that whatever you put out digitally on a Snapchat, you think Snapchat is not saved everything you've ever produced? It may go away and not be accessible on the app because that's their thing. You can do stuff and it disappears. It doesn't disappear, guys. Let's be real. It's so easy to house data. It's so easy. And they house it for a lot of reasons, to continue to build algorithms, to continue to, so many reasons. So it's still available. This is the problem that a lot of these content creators are running into. Well, I'm good. I complied. I deleted it. I'm safe. Throwing the drugs out the window as you're getting caught by the police doesn't make it okay or makes you safe. What if they find it? You threw it out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's still consequences. I think the bigger issue is that these aggressive softwares, these aggressive predatory law firms, that are using the DMCA, are going to find it all, and they're going to say, "See, it's still there. You took it down, but it's still there." But let's be honest. In a court of law, if you say, "I agreed, I was wrong. I didn't know I was wrong, but I took it down. That was the order I was given." You can't. It's out of your control if it's still on a public Twitch server. There's nothing you can do about that. And that's what Twitch and Amazon are facing right now, or YouTube and others. So it's a really good point. Dr. Disrespect still has no reason for his ban. The biggest idea for it was that Twitch didn't want to pay the millions. No, because I understand that. Here's what I would say, though. I have a hard time believing that, because breach of contract without grounds would cost them more money than fulfilling their contract. There's something more. And it's eventually going to come out. It'll be leaked somehow, some way. It's more than them not wanting to pay. when Mixer closed, I mean, let's say, and no one knows except Tyler and his team, but when Tyler Blevins, when Ninja, so rumor was he signed a $60 million contract. And there was probably a clause built in that if they had to exit the contract, this amount of money would be paid, which rumor was it was around $30 million for him to get, for Mixer to close and have to fulfill his contract. For Twitch just to ban someone as a method of getting out of paying someone, a streamer millions of dollars has consequences. That's a breach of contract. Without grounds, unless that exclusion, what I guarantee you was in there is that we can end the contract if you do something against our terms of service. That's what was in there. What we don't know is what the terms of service were, what the breach was, and what they're considering their reasoning behind, perma-banning him. That's what we don't know. What's the liability to Twitch for storing videos that may have had some accidentally give out personal information? Huge. I'm not. So let me go back. So I'm sure that he knows the reason, but legally hasn't spoken. I think so too. I think by this point in time, even though he may not have known in the beginning, this is just IMO. In my opinion, he knows why. By now, he knows why, and they're dealing with it. What's the liability to Twitch for storing videos that may have had someone accidentally give out personal information? Huge. Everything is stored, guys. If you don't think it is, please grow up and move into the modern age. Everything is stored. Everything is stored because it's so easy. It's so easy. Even though there are billions of minutes of YouTube videos, uploaded, whatever, every hour. It's so easy to store. It's there, and someone can find it. And that's why, that's a whole nother topic we'll do. By the way, I want to give a plug. Monday's show, I'm going to get into, I don't know if we'll talk the whole time. I'm going to talk about this streamer package giveaway in detail. I'm going to give an update because it ends December 1st. I'm going to give an update, and hopefully people will be able to see more clearly what I'm looking for in this giveaway and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for that on Monday. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about female gamers and streamers and whatnot. With the amount he was being paid, he has full legal team. Oh, of course he does. Of course he does. Dr. Disrespect is a brand. He's a brand. He's a personality, but he's a brand. He's a marketable, valuable commodity in the world of attention control in this marketplace. Can we see the sub hat? I haven't seen it yet. It's at home because it's getting packed. It's getting packed. I still have to fit on about another 90 names. So I'm kind of doing it at home off stream because we had so many people come in the last week donating subs and subbing, and we've been growing like crazy, which, by the way, guys, thank you so much. Much love back to you for all of that support. All right. We got 20 minutes. Do I know what today is? I don't know. Is it your birthday, Godfather? What is it?
It's payday.
I got to tell you, this has been funny, chat. I'm so appreciative, and I appreciate the love and support. It's amazing. There have been, I think, 4 people now that are juggling, have continued to juggle for the first place position on the stream for donated subs, gifted subs, donations, and all that. Godfather's one of them. Guys, listen, let me pull back the curtain a little bit here. When Delta V Esports, when COVID hit and we had to close to the public before we could even open, 2 weeks before we were going to officially open, we've had no revenue on the Delta V side. And so we've been burning through a lot of resources, and we're almost completely out of those resources. But here it goes. Building this stream and successfully succeeding with this stream is how we're going to fund a lot of our work going forward, especially because we're so delayed because of COVID. 10 gifted subs by Godfather. Guys, Godfather, thank you so much. Guys, Give this man some love. Okay? Give some hype in the channel. So much appreciated. You have no idea what an honor it is to be able to produce a product and content that you guys find valuable, that you would do this back to. Much love to you. Thank you for another 10 gifted. It's amazing. Again. Thank you. And more names to stuff on the hat. I don't know how many more I can actually fit on. Holy cow. Thank you so much. Let me take a picture so I can make sure and try to get these on this weekend as well. I will get these. This is my Sunday afternoon work to finish getting all these on. Godfather, thank you. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. I mean, you understand what a privilege it is, and I'll always consider it a privilege, even when we have 50,000 subs or 100,000 subs. What a privilege to be able to engage with you guys, to be able to do this, and to have the opportunity to help you learn how to do the same thing, to be in an industry that's so young that we can help you have lifestyles that you've dreamt of in gaming and esports. What a privilege for me. What a privilege for our team. What a privilege for this opportunity. It's amazing, guys. It's just unbelievable. And I've seen a lot of things in the course of my 5.7 decades on this planet. I just want to say that it's the small things that brightens people's day. 2020 has been rough, but now I look forward every morning to street shows and how much time and effort. Thank you. Thank you. I seriously, what you guys don't see from me very often is I'm a really deeply emotional guy, and look, listen, because it ends up being, it can be like, I don't want it to be. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. It means a lot. I'm glad you guys are finding value here, and I'm glad. It's just the beginning, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's move on past that. Oh, man. So just kind of wrapping up this DMCA stuff. If you've gotten a violation notice, I highly recommend that you go read. I'm sure that if you're a Twitch creator of any kind, we're done. We're moving on. We're moving on. It was funny because my wife and I, for those of you who don't marry, we've been married 32 years. We've raised 6 kids together. There'll be a sappy commercial come on, and my kids will like do this. Look over at me. Oh, dad's welling up. That's just me. So just to wrap this up, guys, DMCA is going to be, in the end, a very good thing for us in moving forward because so many other great tools are going to come with it, if that makes sense. So I think you should be really, really excited about what's coming to play. Okay. I think we might wrap this. Let's see. How long before Ribbon's ready to rock some dubs? Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Then we're going to get into playing some Warzone. We're going to get some dubs. We had some dubs as a quad, or as a quad team last night, which is kind of unusual, pretty hard to do. So tomorrow we're going to talk about female gamer streamers, their role in the industry, in my opinion, in my view, why it's so important, why it's so needed. We're going to get into all of that. If you're a female gamer, please, I hope you're here. I hope you come and participate and share your thoughts and comments. I'm very vocal about this, but I have very clear opinions. Not all of those are the females going to appreciate in the reality of the business world. I'll clarify tomorrow. It'll be fun. But how important female gamers are to the industry, to everything we're doing, is so underestimated. And we're going to talk about that. On Monday's show, we're going to talk about the giveaway. I want to get into some more detail. May not spend the whole show doing it, but I want to talk about why I'm doing it, the reasons behind it, what I'm looking for, how you can really win it. So if you've had any indication, and I'll do a video on that, as a TikTok on that as well. If you've had any, question like, do I want whatever? Yes. We'll talk about that on Monday. All right. Fun times, guys. Thank you so much. Again, every Monday through Friday, different subjects. We'll be talking Street Talk, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. Make sure you're following me on TikTok. Make sure you're in the Street Talk Leader Nation Discord. Make sure that you are following me on Twitter, Instagram, subscribing on YouTube. I'll keep producing more and more stuff. I'm not doing a ton of editing. I'm essentially slicing these shows off and putting them out there so that you can rewatch them and listen to them. I hope next week get into stripping the audio out. I got to start pulling the audio out so that they can be podcasts and you can listen to them as well. Can we bring up topics for you to talk about in the morning? Absolutely, 100%. If you guys DM me in Discord, let me know a topic that you would like to talk about, you think that should be discussed. If it has to do with building and developing the world of gaming and esports, because remember, the purpose of Street Talk Leader Nation is to bring gaming and esports to the center stage of world attention and admiration. That's what STEN is. That's what Street Talk Leader Nation is. Then, as we're doing that, this will be a big method right now to continue to fund what we're doing here. We're going to use Delta V Esports as the way to teach you the skills, how to take advantage and leverage the opportunities that are going to be developed because of that attention and admiration over time. Okay? It's a hand-in-hand thing. So all the support that you guys do here, the fact that you're following, you're subbing, you're donating, all of that, guys, that's what we're building to keep the lights on, to be strong, to help be a big funding source. And then eventually, I can tell you guys on Delta V, I have people in multiple countries, multiple states ready right now to open Delta V locations, okay? And they are coming. Killa B, I'm glad you're excited for tomorrow. I hope you have some good comments to bring. So, yes, absolutely. If you have stuff to talk about, please DM me in Discord or post it somewhere that I can see it. And we will talk about anything that applies to helping build and grow this industry in the way that we need it to for all the opportunities we're going to enjoy. So, and Sub Saturday. First half of the day is Warzone with subs. We have a queue you can get into, and then second half is Among Us. They're turning out to really be a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a blast. All right, guys, it's been super fun for the show.